Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. We welcome back to our airwaves, as we do each and every week, our regular contributor, Robert Clancy, the author of The Messenger, amongst other books. Robert, today we're going to talk about being different. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so my inspirational thought is you can only truly be different by being yourself, and you need to celebrate those differences. And it was really, you can't really be anyone else but yourself, and you might as well be unique. And if you're not living your truth, you're not being yourself, you're not putting yourself out there as the person that you are, you're not really fulfilling why you're here.
I got an email earlier today saying, take this course to find out what your purpose is. Is that related to being different, being unique?
It definitely goes hand in hand with it, because your purpose of whatever you're here, your unique talent, your unique abilities, what you contribute to the world are part of your purpose, and then living that truth and being yourself, which actually makes you different, because everyone is unique. They're unique as the fingerprints that we have, and that's really what you leave behind, just like a fingerprint, is your legacy, and leaving that beautiful legacy that can help people long after you're gone.
Is that important, to have a legacy after you're gone?
I think then, you're definitely fulfilling your life purpose if you're doing some type of legacy, leaving something a little better than it was when you got here. And, yeah, there are people that are helping others that have been dead for hundreds of years because of their legacy, because of what they contributed, what they left behind. And, your whole life is not about what you're going to leave behind. It's about creating that life that actually does leave something behind.
And I can think of a number of people. Martin Luther King would be one. Mozart and his music inspires people. That kind of uniqueness.
Yeah, and you don't have to be famous to do that either. You just have to, somebody said that each person, each of us, you, have a unique talent. You are better at something than anyone else on this entire planet. And whatever that is, you need to exploit it for the greater good of humanity. And that's sort of what a superhero is. They always come down to having that one thing that sets them aside, and somehow they use it for the greater good.
But how do you find out what that your uniqueness is? I mean, there are thousands of insurance agents. You're saying that one of those insurance agents may be the best insurance agent in the world?
They're probably, yes, I would say so. And George Carlin once said that, there's also the worst doctor in the world, and somebody has an appointment with them tomorrow. That's the scary part,
Right. Well, and then a lot of doctors think they are the best in the world. They learn that in medical school, I think.
Striving to be, yes, and what they can do, and they go into that field not just for the almighty dollar, but to actually help other people.
And that's why I think helping other people is the most important thing that anybody can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really what the definition of a hero is. It's somebody that actually goes out there and does try to make some difference.
And you can do that, in mass, or even if you make a difference in one person's life. I think that's also important. Yeah,
just the simple gestures of sharing something that brightens someone's day. And it doesn't have to be some big gesture either. And those are all parts of sharing yourself and what makes you different in that sharing.
How do you approach somebody, or do you approach somebody who is self-centered? They don't share with others unless there's something back for them. Do you try to break that chain of self rather than us?
Well, first I look at it that what's the assumption that's being made there. So you have to look inward to yourself why you would assume that person's like that. And then also you got to take into account a lot of different factors that are going on in their life at that time that may make them appear that way. So I try to look at it on all sides before I make some kind of judgment on someone, and really to look at the big picture of giving them that space or the benefit of the doubt in that moment. And obviously, if someone's consistently doing that, then you may need to evaluate how that person fits into your life. But if it's a moment-to-moment thing sometimes, and we've all experienced things like that, and we've all done them.
A number of years ago, I think we did a segment on the show where we talked about how to extricate those people from your life, those who are negative, who take energy, if you will. I call them energy vampires. And that might be something to look into as you know, you're being different, and you run into these people who are just all about themselves.
Yeah, and there's ways to release with love in that instance, and that's part of it. Today it's really about celebrating the differences that we have and how you can be unique in that formula, and really what sets you aside, and really looking at that is the key to moving forward, especially in these times, where we have a lot of social isolation going. It's just it's been on up and down, and people are getting depressed out there and other things, from being isolated. So if you look at your difference and how you can be creative with that, and I was at the airport, so I went up to the security checkpoint, and you have your mask on, and then I guess you have to take your mask down to show them your ID and those things. And I pulled it down, and the woman that was there, and I said, "Hey, I'm smiling." And then she looked up and she started laughing, and she goes, "I haven't seen too many of those." But it brightened her day, and that's just something that you can do just to surprise someone,
And it's standing in line at a Starbucks, and even now, I try to when I go out, when I'm at a coffee place or picking something up, I try to be happy and friendly. I think I may have mentioned that I was in a market a few weeks ago, and a woman bumped into my cart and was apologetic. And I said, don't worry about it. It's fine. And I said, I'm smiling under this. And she laughed. I think being light and happy is what we all need. What's that song? It was a Coke commercial. I want to remember it, Daryl?
There have been several. I'd like to teach the world to sing was the big one.
That's it. That's the big one. That's the one I was thinking about. I'd like to teach the world to sing in 3-part harmony. Anyway.
New Seekers.
What was that?
The New Seekers.
Yes.
Is the name of the group.
I knew somebody was a sister of one of the members of that group, I think. Anyway. Robert, thank you very much. If somebody's interested in finding more about Robert, where should they go, Robert Clancy?
To guidetothesoul.com. So it's a guide and then TOTHESOUL.com. Guide to the Soul.
guidetothesoul.com. And of course, Robert's books include The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Soul and The Messenger, amongst a book of poetry and other things. Lots of information there. And on Facebook, you can find him, and there's lots of stuff going on there. He posts almost every day, and lots of great information. Well, this wraps up this edition of Late Night Health. Thank you, Daryl, as always.
My pleasure.
And thank you for tuning in. Whoops, sorry about that. Go ahead, Daryl.
My pleasure.
And thank you for tuning in. Everybody, have a great week, have a good week, and most importantly, have a healthy week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.